There are currently less than 10 countries in the world that possess nuclear weapons. Which countries possess them? Which country has the most nuclear weapons? Let's find out in today's story. There are 4 countries that once possessed nuclear weapons but gave them up. Namely Kazakhstan, Belarus, Ukraine and South Africa. Kazakhstan, Belarus and Ukraine once possessed a large number of old nuclear warheads from the Soviet era. But all 3 countries handed them over to Russia and signed the NPT. South Africa also produced a number of nuclear bombs in the 1980s. And of course they do not appear on this list. 9. North Korea, about 40 to 50 warheads. North Korea's nuclear arsenal is always a hot topic that worries the world. This country has secretly developed nuclear weapons for decades and is increasingly making other countries restless. So what is North Korea's current arsenal? Where is it hidden? And how is it being developed? The Yongbyon nuclear facility is the key place where North Korea produces the material for nuclear bombs, called plutonium. Yongbyon is located about 90 kilometers north of the capital Pyongyang and is the most important base for the country's nuclear program. North Korea has been learning and developing nuclear technology since the former Soviet Union. Around the 1950s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, North Korea decided to go it alone and continue to develop its own nuclear weapons. North Korea conducted its first nuclear test in 2006. North Korea is known for its high level of secrecy, and the specific locations where it stores its nuclear weapons have never been revealed. Based on satellite imagery and intelligence, it is widely believed that these arsenals are hidden deep in the mountains or underground military areas. North Korea has other secret facilities for enriching uranium and making bombs. In addition to Yongbyon, such dispersion makes international monitoring and control extremely difficult. North Korea is currently believed to possess about 40 to 50 nuclear warheads. However, the exact number is still uncertain, as this information is difficult to verify. North Korea has also developed missiles to launch nuclear warheads. These missiles have a fairly long range, even reaching the US territory. North Korea has faced a series of sanctions from the United Nations, the US and other countries because of its nuclear program. However, despite these sanctions, North Korea has remained steadfast in its refusal to give up nuclear development. 8. Israel, estimated about 90 warheads. Israel is a rather unique country when it comes to nuclear weapons, because they have never officially admitted that they have them. But everyone knows that they have them. Israel's approach is like whoever understands. I don't confirm anything, making the whole world guess about their true strength. Unlike other countries, Israel has never publicly announced or denied that they have nuclear weapons. No one has seen Israel conduct public nuclear tests or give specific numbers. But most experts believe that they have had them for a long time. Israel began researching and developing nuclear weapons in the 1950s. They built a secret nuclear reactor in the Negev desert, near the city of Dimona. This is where Israel produces plutonium, the main material for making nuclear bombs. Everything related to Israel's nuclear power revolves around the Dimona reactor. This is where plutonium is produced and is hidden very well in the desert, far from residential areas, and strictly protected. Many satellite images show that Dimona has underground structures, so it is possible that they hide nuclear weapons there. In addition to Dimona, Israel may have dispersed warheads in many different places to avoid detection. According to experts' estimates, Israel currently has about 90 nuclear warheads. But because they do not declare it publicly, this number may be higher or lower. Israel always feels insecure because there are many countries around them that do not accept their existence. Therefore, nuclear weapons are the trump card to ensure that no one dares to touch them. 7. India, about 164 warheads. India also has nuclear weapons. And they developed them to protect themselves. Especially against two arch-rivals Pakistan and China. After independence, India began nuclear research. But when China tested a nuclear bomb in 1964, India felt it needed to have goods to ensure safety. Like many other countries, India does not disclose where it stores them. But they are certainly in heavily guarded military bases, scattered across the country. India's nuclear weapons are produced at large facilities such as the Bobba reactor in Mumbai and the Kolpakam nuclear complex. Currently, India has about 164 nuclear warheads. Enough to deal with any threat. The Agni missile can fire up to 5.000 kilometers. While the Prithvi missile is used for close-range defense, mainly targeting Pakistan. Pakistan and China both have nuclear weapons. And India does not want to be inferior. Having nuclear weapons is to make everyone think twice before daring to touch them. Not participating in the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, India did not sign the treaty because it thought it was unfair. They always affirmed that they only use nuclear weapons for self-defense. Never attacking first. 6. Pakistan, about 170 warheads. Pakistan also has nuclear weapons. And the biggest reason is to balance the score with India. After India tested a nuclear bomb in 1974, Pakistan decided to have goods to avoid being at a disadvantage. Especially since the two countries have fought many times. Like other countries, Pakistan does not specify where it stores its weapons. But it is certain that the warheads are hidden in safe and well-protected military bases. Pakistan stores weapons in many different places, so that if they are attacked by surprise, they still have enough to respond. Nuclear production facilities are also located in safe areas and far from populated areas. Pakistan has about 170 nuclear warheads. Slightly more than India. They developed these weapons to ensure that they are not bullied by India. With nuclear weapons, Pakistan wants to show that if anyone dares to attack them, they will pay a heavy price. This is a way to protect themselves in a region with a tense security situation. Pakistan did not sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, because it does not want to be limited while India is not a member either. They want to have the right to defend themselves and develop weapons without being forced by anyone. China has helped Pakistan a lot in developing its nuclear program. The two countries are quite close because they both want to deal with India. And China considers Pakistan an important partner in the region. 5. UK, around 225 warheads. Britain is one of the countries that owns nuclear weapons. And they have developed this arsenal since World War II to affirm their position as a superpower. Britain tested its first nuclear bomb in 1952. Becoming the third country in the world to have this weapon. After the US and the Soviet Union. Currently, Britain has around 225 nuclear warheads. And all are deployed on Vanguard-class nuclear submarines. These ships act as weapons carriers traveling under the sea, ensuring the ability to strike back at any time. Britain wants to ensure that it has enough power to defend itself and maintain an important position in international affairs, especially during the Cold War. Britain and the US have a very close relationship in nuclear weapons development, with a lot of technology and information shared with each other. 4. France, approximately 290 warheads. France is one of the countries with nuclear weapons, developed to protect itself and assert its position as an independent power after World War II. France successfully tested its first nuclear bomb in 1960, becoming the fourth country in the world to possess this weapon, after the United States, the Soviet Union, and the United Kingdom. France currently has approximately 290 nuclear warheads, mainly deployed on submarines and fighter jets, helping them maintain their deterrence capability. France wants to have an independent defense capability without depending on the United States or any allies. Especially during the Cold War. France developed nuclear weapons independently but still cooperated with NATO and allied countries on security and strategy. France stores nuclear weapons mainly on nuclear submarines and at air bases. 3. China, approximately 410 warheads. China was one of the first 5 countries in the world to possess nuclear weapons and currently has one of the most formidable arsenals. China developed nuclear weapons to protect its national security and ensure its position in the world. Especially in the context of competition with the United States and Russia. After the end of the Korean War, China realized the need for nuclear weapons to protect itself from other major powers. Especially the United States and the Soviet Union. With initial help from the Soviet Union, China began its nuclear program. On October 16, 1964, China successfully tested its first nuclear bomb in the Lochner Desert, Xinjiang province. This event marked China's official ascension to the 5th nuclear power in the world. China does not publicly disclose the exact locations of its nuclear weapons. But there are indications that they are dispersed throughout the country. Mainly in remote, mountainous areas that are difficult to access. Some bases are believed to be in Xinjiang, Inner Mongolia, and other safe, less traveled mountainous areas. China has built underground nuclear bases in the mountains, especially in areas such as Shanxi and Gansu. These bases are hidden deep in the mountains to avoid air attacks and ensure maximum safety. In addition, China also deploys nuclear weapons on strategic submarines. These ships often operate secretly in sea areas, ensuring the ability to counterattack even if the mainland is attacked. China currently has about 410 nuclear warheads. Although this number is much smaller than the US and Russia, China is still expanding and modernizing its arsenal. Nuclear weapons are also a way for China to assert itself as a major world power. It gives them a stronger voice in international affairs and ensures that other countries respect China's interests. China has always stated that it has a no first-use policy of nuclear weapons. This means that it will only use nuclear weapons if it is attacked with nuclear weapons first. 2. United States, US, about 5.244 warheads. The US was the first country to possess and use nuclear weapons. And to this day they still have one of the largest and most modern nuclear arsenals in the world. The US developed these weapons not only for self-defense but also to assert its power. During World War II, the US began its nuclear bomb development program with the Manhattan Project. They collaborated with many famous scientists and successfully built the first atomic bomb. At the end of 1945, the US tested this bomb in the New Mexico desert and then dropped 2 bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, forcing Japan to surrender and ending World War II. Currently, the US has about 5.244 nuclear warheads, second only to Russia. Of these, about 1.644 warheads are ready for use. The US maintains 3 ways to launch nuclear weapons to ensure it can always respond when attacked, including land-based missiles, ICBMs. Minuteman III ballistic missiles are hidden in fortified underground bunkers in the central US. Nuclear submarines. The US has Ohio-class submarines carrying Trident II nuclear missiles, which regularly patrol the sea, ready to launch from anywhere. Bombers. Aircraft such as the B-52 and B-2 can carry nuclear bombs and take off from air bases to attack targets. US ICBMs are hidden in fortified underground bunkers in states such as Montana, North Dakota, and Wyoming. These bunkers are heavily guarded. Undersea patrol submarines. The US Ohio-class submarines carry nuclear missiles and constantly patrol the sea, making them very difficult to detect. Thanks to that, even if the mainland is attacked, the US still has the ability to counterattack. Air Force bases. Bombers capable of carrying nuclear bombs are deployed at Air Force bases such as Whiteman, Minot, and Barksdale. These bases are all heavily guarded. The United States maintains a nuclear arsenal to ensure that no one dares to attack them or their allies. Nuclear weapons are considered a shield to maintain peace through deterrence. The United States does not rule out the possibility of using nuclear weapons first if necessary. This means that they can use nuclear bombs first to protect their interests. 1. Russia, about 5.889 warheads. Russia is the country with the largest nuclear arsenal in the world today. This power comes from the Soviet Union, and was inherited by Russia after the Soviet Union collapsed. Russia developed and maintained a nuclear arsenal to protect national security and maintain its position as a great power. After the United States used nuclear bombs in Japan, the Soviet Union was determined to have the bomb so as not to fall behind. By 1949, the Soviet Union had successfully tested its first nuclear bomb, becoming the second country in the world to have this weapon. After the United States, Russia currently has about 5.889 nuclear warheads, the most in the world. Of these, about 1.674 are always ready for use. The 3 launch vehicles, underground silos and mobile launchers. Russia hides missiles in underground silos in remote places like Siberia. In addition, they also use mobile launchers to move missiles to different locations, making it difficult for the enemy to detect. Russian nuclear submarines always move underwater, allowing them to retaliate from anywhere even if the mainland is attacked. Air bases across Russia have bombers ready to carry nuclear bombs. Russia and the United States are the 2 countries with the most nuclear weapons and are always competing with each other. They have entered into several agreements to reduce the number of warheads, such as the New START Treaty, to avoid the risk of nuclear war. Unlike the US, Russia does not share nuclear technology with its allies. However, Russia has a fairly close relationship with China and also sells nuclear technology to some countries, but only in the civilian sector.